Alright guys, Gavin here, and today I'm going to react to the NFL Power Rankings. And now, it looks like we got the Buffalo Bills at number 1 and the Cardinals at number 2. Do I agree with this? Certainly not. I believe that the Cardinals are the best team, and here's why. So the Buffalo Bills, if we look at their season so far, they lost to the Steelers 23-16 in the first game, where the Steelers were it felt like the Steelers had the edge over them like most of the entire game. And yes, it is the first game of the season. Yes, everybody's going to be rusty. And then they go and beat the Dolphins 35-0. Then they go beat the Washington football team 43-21. And then they shut out the Texans 40-0. Yes, those are all numbers that could make them a number 1 team, except the Cardinals, if we look at them, they blow out the Titans in Tennessee 38-13. They come back home, face Minnesota in a shootout, and Minnesota, I believe, is the best 1-3 team. If you look at their schedule, they competed with the Browns last week. They beat the Seahawks, and then they lost to the Cardinals. And then they lost to the Bengals, and the Bengals are 3-1 right now. It could be better. The Bengals could be a better team this year than a lot of people are giving credit to. Do I think that and then they go to Jacksonville and compete with a Jacksonville Jaguars team that's improving. And why do I say that they're improving? A, they competed with the Cardinals. B, they competed with the Bengals earlier this week to the point where Joe Burrow had to do a game-winning drive to get them a game-winning drive for a field goal, and Trevor Lawrence didn't throw any picks last week either. I feel like the Bengals or the Jaguars are a continually improving team, and the fact that the Cardinals won by the 12-point margin that they did, I feel like that is impressive. Yes, the other teams have been meeting them handily, but I feel like like I said, the Jaguars are getting better. Trevor Lawrence is getting better each week, and then they go to Los Angeles and blow out the Rams, essentially, as they win 37-20 and establish clear dominance over the Rams. And I feel like the Cardinals we'll find out too how they will do against the 49ers. Then they'll travel to Cleveland. Then they face the Texans themselves. And then they face the Packers. Then they go back to San Francisco, face the Panthers, yada, yada. So we will quickly find out what team the Cardinals are, but I believe the Cardinals are legit, and I think that they're playing like the best team in the NFL, despite how statistically good the Buffalo Bills look. And we'll find out too if the Buffalo Bills are really the best team in the NFL, as they travel to Kansas City next week for Sunday Night Football. Then they travel to Tennessee to face the Titans for Monday Night Football. I think it's Thursday Night Football. Let me check. Pardon, it's Monday Night Football that they take on the Titans next. And then they travel to... And then they'll face the Dolphins again. Then they'll go to Jacksonville, Jets. So, really, the Buffalo Bills have the easier schedule out of the two. But I feel like the Cardinals, though, if they win, they're going to definitely look better than the Bills. It's kind of unfair that the Bills get such an advantageous schedule, but, I mean, they can't control their schedules. It's in a loop and stuff, It's a schedule, but, I think the Cardinals are the best team in the NFL until proven otherwise, and I guess we'll find out who wins more games and stuff through that. But I think that the Bills should be ranked second. I think the Cardinals should be ranked first. And as we go look, I agree the Rams should be third. I believe even though they stepped off a bit, I believe that they'll start getting their foot back in the door as they'll learn from that loss and bounce back. And then Tampa Bay at fourth. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Sure, getting a win in Foxborough was great, but honestly, that game was kind of handed to them when Bill Belichick made the stupid decision to kick the field goal. And honestly, it would have never benefited them, it would have benefited the Patriots even if they did win it. I mean, even if they did make the field goal, because the Buccaneers would have had plenty of time, 2 timeouts, over a minute left for Tom Brady to get a game-winning drive. So really, the Patriots should have gone on 4th and 3. Maybe they would have, and they probably would have beaten the Bucks there. But I feel like the Bucks still, I feel like they are still a top 5 team. It's just I would have the Packers ranked over them. I think that the Packers have established more dominance over the Bucks, and I believe that the Packers are the 4th best team. Cleveland above Baltimore. I believe that's kind of bold. I believe Baltimore has been looking better than Cleveland a little bit, but it is hard to say as we are still early in the season. I agree with both of them at 6 and 7, though. I'd reverse that order too, but for the most part, I agree with that. Dallas at 8, I certainly think so. I believe that Dallas may climb up the rankings, though, if they continue to win at the rate they are. Let's look at who they're facing next week. They're going to face the Giants, so that should be a win for them. But it is a division game, so we'll never know what happens. And then the Patriots, they'll go to New England, and that will be a better Patriots team. In fact, I think the Patriots will probably beat the Patriots. I think that the Patriots will beat the Cowboys, especially in Foxborough. Then they go to Minnesota, who's going to be looking to get back on their winning ways. Like I said, Minnesota's a competitor. And then they'll face the Broncos. So Dallas has got a tough schedule. I feel like 8 is a safe bet for them right now until they prove otherwise. I feel like they could definitely win those games, but it's still uncertain at this point, so I feel like 8 is a safe ranking. Chargers at 9, I agree with that, and I think the Chargers will continue to ascend. As we look at their schedule really quick, their next 2 games, they'll face the Browns, they'll face the Ravens, they'll face the Patriots, they'll face the Eagles, they'll face the Vikings, Steelers, so on. So the Chargers, I feel like if they win those games, they'll definitely ascend high into the rankings, probably top 6. Raiders at 10, I certainly agree right now. I feel like the Raiders, yes, they stepped off a bit, but I think that, I feel like they're going to get back on track next week. They faced the Bears next week. I feel like that should be a win for them. But then they'll go to Denver. That will be an interesting test. As Denver may have Bridgewater back. Their receivers will be more confident. It'll be an interesting game. And then they face the Eagles and Giants. So Raiders have an interesting schedule coming up, but I feel like the Raiders at 10 is safe. Maybe the Chiefs should probably be ranked above them possibly, but the Raiders were the ones that were able to finish the ball game against the Ravens. So as the Chiefs have lost to the Chargers and Ravens, not bad losses, but if the Chiefs win next week, they'll certainly be elevated back into the top 5, I think. Then the Panthers at 12, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably rank the Seahawks above them, to be honest, who were ranked at 13. But it is tough to say. I feel like Carolina being there, though, isn't too bad. They'll face each other, I believe. Let me check the schedule. Oh, no, they don't face each other. Well, yeah, they don't face each other, so I guess we won't know. But, I guess we'll kind of get an idea depending on how Carolina handles the rest of their schedule. They're going to face the Eagles. They might win that one with how good their defense is. They'll face the Vikings. That one will be an interesting one. They'll go to New York. They'll face the Falcons. And then they'll face the Patriots. It'll be an interesting schedule for the Panthers for sure. Seahawks are looking very interesting. Denver dropped down to 14. I agree. I believe that was an unfair situation to judge Denver on based on, how the fact that they lost Teddy Bridgewater. They had to bring in Locke, who had no snaps at all. It's hard to judge Denver off of that game. San Francisco at 15, I certainly agree with that. I believe San Francisco, if they do win next week with Trey Lance, then they'll probably advance up, but it'll be interesting to see what happens to San Francisco next week. Kind of scary that they lost Jimmy to a calf injury. Hopefully it's not too long before he gets back on the field, because I'm sure they don't want Trey Lance out there more than they need him out there for. Cincinnati at 16, I certainly agree with that. And I think that, they may continue to go up if they end up winning more. And Saints dropped down to 17. I 100% full-heartedly agree with that. What the freak are the Saints? Like, their passing offense is 31st in the league. First of all, they lose to the Giants in overtime. Yes, the Giants have been competitive this year, but they lose to the Giants. They get blown out by the Panthers after erupting on the Packers and the Patriots. They go to Washington next week. I can't tell you if the Saints are going to win that one. I think the football team might win that one, actually. If the Saints are just inconsistent. Who are the Saints? So I feel like 17 is definitely a safe ranking. And then as we look, I agree with a lot of these rankings until proven otherwise. But so a few disagreements, but for the most part, I agree with these rankings. This is a longer video than what I've done lately. Sorry about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, these are my thoughts on the rankings. What do you guys think about the rankings? Are you guys enjoying them? Are they going better for you? Let me know down below. Hope you guys have a great night, and thank you guys for watching.